Nigga, I got so many books. Maya and the Three on Netflix. Check that shit out. Maya and the Three. Maya and the Three. Maya and the Three on Netflix. They drop so much fucking science in these kid movies. Or, that's just how I like to put it, man. They drop so much science in these fucking kid movies, it's ridiculous. But they put a lot of shit in the kid movies because they, from my understanding, whatever the fuck y'all like to call it, man. The way I see it, what I've come to understand, nigga, it's, they don't expect people like me or you, they don't expect the intellectual to actually watch this shit and be decoding this shit. See, I got all kind of books and shit, and you know, they talk a lot about decoding and going into this or that, right? Let me take a drink. That's the last of my tequila, man. Well, not the last, but that's the last of my cup. So it's probably why I'm on one. Because I had a mighty nice cup. But I had to share this with y'all, man. And you gotta know my shit be random, so, man, I apologize. But, rock with me. Maya and the Three, okay? I want to skip ahead to a lot of the shit. If you ain't seen it, see it. Pause this shit, come back to the shit, then let's talk about it. You'll have some comments. But I just want to, I don't even want to really get too much in depth. Hey, comment that shit all day, man. Holler at me, talk to me, let me know what you think about the shit. But this is why I can't wait to go live, because this is just weird ass shit to me. But it's weird ass shit to me. So this one book, The ISIS Papers by Francis Cress Welsing, The Keys to the Colors. It's damn near like they came from this book. Whoever directed that shit, drew the shit, whatever, came up with the storyline, whatever the fuck, they had to know something about this book, man. Or at least this conversation. They're in this conversation. But this shit took me so many places, man. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, trying to figure out, like, what the fuck I really want to talk. Look, still got the pink, man. Highlighted all kind of new shit in this, the hard facts of Grimm's fairy tales, because we gonna talk about it, man. I even had to go to fucking the Darwin effect. Motherfucking Darwin effect, man. Hey, man, I'm all over the place. And the last one I got right here, I got all these goddamn books, man. The encyclopedia, the Woman's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. You know what I'm talking about? I talked about most of these books already, so you feel me? Check out my other fucking videos or whatever. I might put the shit in the description or whatever, but I really don't give a fuck about that. None of that shit right now. Let me follow this little shit up. Plus, this is why, man. Hey, nigga, if my blunt was longer, but I don't feel like rolling another one, I probably would have kept the fucking mask on. Cause this shit is retarded. It's gonna make me go watch the shit again. I don't have to watch the shit again. But I mean, I watched it and it was cool. I've got to the point where, like, you know what I'm saying, I watch shit and be breaking shit down at the same goddamn time. So I mean, it's alright, but yeah. I had to share this shit with you, man. I was just in the zone. And man, fuck all that. Let's get to it, right? Right. So I don't know how I want to go. I didn't, you know, again, I ain't really got notes and shit. But, excuse me. Let me hit the blunt. This motherfucker's too small. You see what I'm saying? I'm working with, man. What the fuck is this? I should just roll another one. But it's cool. Give me a second, man. Fuck with me. Go ahead and put that little shit out. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with Francis Cress Welsing. So chapter 2, right. Chapter 2 is something about the origins of alienation, anxiety, and narcissism. Now, I'm not sure what all I got highlighted, but I do want it to be known. Alright, okay, so I got a lot of shit highlighted, but what I want to get out about, what I want to get it out, okay, I did do that, okay, so, at the heart of Frances Cress Welsing, her theory and whatever else, right, and again, I'm not saying I subscribe to it, don't persecute me for this shit. I don't personally give a fuck. I'm not going to get into what I subscribe to. I'm just going to tell you how fucking weird it is, because that's what made me want to jump on here and do the fucking video. And we had already spent 6 minutes, so I apologize for me just on my being on one. But fast forward through that shit, because you can do that, right? Peep this. Man, what she basically is saying in this book is that quote-unquote whiteness is a form of albinism. It doesn't happen. Like, I'm in the Ville, you feel me, Kentucky. So, in the Louisville Zoo, there's a white crocodile. It's an albino crocodile. And it's, so supposed to be so special and whatever. All because it's albino. But basically what she's saying is alienation, anxiety, and narcissism. The term Western means white. I'm going to read straight from the book for educational purposes and whatever else. And again, this is her. I don't even want to get into all that. But basically, the term Western means white. Western has become a comfortable and for some confusing euphemism or code for the word white. The terms Western civilization and Western culture specifically refer to the civilization and culture evolved, determined, directed, developed, and controlled by people who classify themselves as white. Now, I'm just reading from the book again. This is not me. I'm just saying, though. White skin is a form of albinism. There is no difference, microscopically speaking, between the white skin of a white person and the skin of a person who is designated as an albino. My central thesis here is that white-skinned peoples came into existence thousands of years ago as the albino mutant offsprings of black-skinned mothers and fathers in Africa. A sizable number of these black parents had produced, rejected, and then cast out of the community their genetic defective albino offspring to live away from the normal black-skinned pigmented population with the awareness of their rejection and alienation as in leper colonies. What the fuck? So, when you see the origin story of the white girl, and again, I apologize, I'm just saying white girl because she painted all this shit white and whatever the fuck else, but this is literally what happened to one of the three in Maya and the Three. Go watch the shit, man, and then you tell me what the fuck you think. But this is why the fuck I'm on one, man. But that's her central fucking thesis, dog, as to how quote-unquote white people came into existence. And the thing is, she goes deeper into it or whatever. I'll just paraphrase from her, basically with her saying that, like, if more of these albinos, basically, like, you know what happens. I don't want to say you know what happens, but let me just say this, right? It's like incest and whatever else, you feel me? Which I have a book, The Red Lamp of Incest. I told you, this shit took a nigga all over the place. But incest, right? After so long, it'll produce dumb kids or retardo kids or whatever, but just more and more genetic defects and whatnot. Not just the albino shit. Some kids get born with extra thumbs and pinkies and toes and shit like that, right? That's because of incest in the family and whatever else. So anyways, this is what she says in the book. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you obvious from, I don't know all that shit. But this is what she says in the book. So all of that type of shit comes from incest and whatever else. Again, these families intermingling with more families and whatever else. Eventually, the cousins of a cousin's cousin is going to end up marrying, and then, you know, the genes get mixed up like that. If they don't spread out, this is why, you know, you need like natural selection. Anyways, the genes don't spread out. Eventually, that type of shit's going to happen. Even if it's motherfuckers like, I want to say like Papua New Guinea. But over there on the Isles outside of Australia, you know what I'm talking about? It's islands and shit, and they can't come and go like that. So that DNA tends to stay within that motherfucking island population, regardless of who's who and whatever else. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of the niggas share the same fucking DNA. So point being, a lot of DNA, there's not a lot of different DNA introduced into that. So when I say incest, I'm not meaning like they and their, you know, moms and daughters is fucking each other. You know, mothers and sons and fathers and daughters is fucking each other. You get my point. But yeah, anyways, you get the fucking point, man. Dig this. So if this colony has a bunch of albinos or whatever else, and they get with niggas from this colony, you see what I'm saying? Albinos start to meet up with other albinos and whatever else. You can see how the race can, you feel me? Because this DNA is, even though it comes from whatever the fuck you want to call it, incest and cousins on cousins on cousins and whatever the fuck, right? It's still different from this colony's albinos. So if these albinos get with these albinos and they get together, they can have legitimate kids and whatever the fuck else. And again, she asserts in the book and whatnot that, I mean, the albinos, it comes down to flaccid skin and this and that and whatever else. But basically, a woman, even though she's albino, she still has sex appeal. So she'll still get fucked. The guy, however, he's less likely to, what, you feel me? So this is why it comes down to a lot of this shit, man. I even pulled out like the Iceman's Inheritance, but I've talked so much about that book. We should already know about that book. But again, while they talk about love being an entirely different thing, which comes back to the Mind Control 101 book, which is like, oh my God. Like I said, this fucking Maya and the Three had me all over the place. But even again, the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Because it's a kid's movie, I have to go to this section. I don't have shit highlighted in here. I had this shit back in the day. Man, my baby mama bought me this motherfucking book. That just goes to show how real she was, actually. But anyways. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Chapter 5, Social Integration, Dating and Marrying the White Man, page 53. Man, I'm just showing you how this shit take a nigga all over the place. The mind of a polymath. Nigga, I know a lot of shit about a lot of shit. So when you see something new or whatever, immediately I go all over the place. So the black woman will date, and this comes from the book again for educational purposes and whatever the fuck else. The black woman will date and, as reported daily, will marry a white man. She finds in her relationship with the white man perhaps the answer to all her dreams and fantasies. First, he is removed from the black experience and brings a new set of rules to the involvement. Boom. Second, he represents the culmination of every movie and TV show she has ever seen, featuring a gallant white beau who knows how to treat a woman and swoops in, always coming to her rescue. Now, I only say that, I really should have highlighted some shit up in here, but I only say that to say this, right? Because as you read through that chapter and whatever else, without me going into too much detail, basically, I mean, shit, when you look at it, this is exactly what I said on my video. Go back and watch the video. Disney Plus is on that bullshit. And I'm not attacking Disney Plus at all. It's not Disney Plus. They just play the movies and they put the disclaimers and whatnot in their movies that they're not trying to be on the bullshit. It's just, you know, they're playing these movies. So maybe you can point to directors and shit. I don't know. I ain't trying to point at nobody. I ain't trying to start no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. But I ain't scared of nothing, nigga. I'm hard. So, anyways, I'm just saying, go back and watch my video. I did title it Disney Plus is on that bullshit. Because all the damn, even Moana, I mean, they can be colored, but if they directly represent Negroes, niggas in America, or whatever else, these niggas are weak as fuck. So, back to Maya and the Three, to tie it all back in, the quote-unquote wizard dude, when you see his origin story and whatever else, this nigga is the origin. He's weak as fuck. He's frail. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. You see me. I'm a skinny nigga. But, should I so happen to flex, nigga, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm tight. I still have motherfucking muscles. So, I don't appear weak, or I may appear weak and whatever else, but when need be, I can appear strong. I'm fit. I'm in shape, nigga. This nigga is tiny. I mean, I'm just saying, they show you a weak-ass nigga, which is why, again, I put the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. I should have grabbed the motherfucking Mind Control 101, because this is all about mind control, man. Even own aggression and whatever else, man. I mean, my God, I could take this shit here, there, and everywhere, but I'm not. So, again, man, I just really wanted to draw your attention to go watch this shit and start connecting some of these dots of your own. If you do connect dots, holla at me. But, again, she asserts that that is the origin story of all white people and how they get together, quote-unquote, albino people, and how they get together and just how it happened. And again, me, I'm more about the facts and whatever else, nigga. It's just about the whole know thyself shit. I'm not trying to point fingers. I don't care about being prejudiced, racist, any of that shit. I'm just saying, like, knowing what it is. Why some motherfuckers would hate versus other motherfuckers. Again, knowing a nigga's origin story, knowing how this shit happened, how it came to be, what the fuck it is today and now, and what you're dealing with, and wow, and how fucking deep it is. Because again, like I said, the Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman, this is what the fuck you see. And see, Maya is a little light-skinned broad, because she's like Mexican or whatever the fuck else, like Dora, Maya, and the Three, and this panther. Oh man, it gets so motherfucking deep, but it's a panther. The Three are supposed to be like some three panthers or whatever. Just saying, man, I've been drinking, and I ain't gonna tell you all the damn details, but check this shit out, dog. I'm telling you, it's deep as fuck. But that's what she asserts, and that's exactly what happens in Maya and the Three. They literally show the white girl's origin. I mean, I'm sorry, whatever the fuck, but the white girls, they call her the ghost or whatever the fuck. She even paints her shit white and whatever. She got like a stripe of melanin on, so she put on. But anyways, you get the point though. It's a bunch of tribal niggas, villager niggas, tribal motherfuckers from the jungle. From the jungle, like no for real technology. They off in the jungle and whatnot. And all of a sudden, this baby is born. Everybody looks at it like, what the hell? And they pick this baby up. What the fuck is we supposed to do with this shit? But they pick this baby up, and they're like, alright, well, take it far away, far, far away. Who gives a fuck what happened to it? Let the guys decide what happened to it. And this nigga takes off running. Nigga takes off running with this fucking baby. Drops her the fuck off and dipsets. They literally do this shit in the kids series, the kids show on fucking Netflix. They did it. Straight up did it. And I read the fucking book and I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like I said, man, it take you here, there, and everywhere. You'll end up in a whole lot of places, man. Whole lot of places. Well, you should. I mean, that's just me. And again, even, like I said, I ain't going to take up no whole lot of time. I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the dude. But that's just Girlie's origin story. And if you, like I said, I talked about the book, go back and watch my fucking videos when I talked about this shit. And they show you how deep that is. Because that's just their origin shit. Again, this is just chapter 2. Well, chapter 1 is the crest theory, but that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, that was just chapter fucking 2. If I can pull it back up. So, anyways, man, look. Apparently, I can't just get back to it as easily as I did before. But you get the point, though, man. She literally says all of this in the book. And what's dope is, like, this is a collection of essays. So she did this shit, like, years upon years ago. But it shows you when the essay came out. This essay came out in 1980. 1980. So they was up on game about this shit a long ass time ago. Nigga, I wasn't born until several years after 1980. My goddamn self, so I ain't gonna tell you niggas exactly how old I am. You got me fucked up. But, anywho, yeah, man. I mean, because there's so much that could be said about the dude, which is why I ended up going into the hard facts of Grimm's fairy tales and whatnot, man. The black dude on there, obviously he's the black dude, and nigga got dreads and whatever else. But he's a goddamn orphan, which shows you off the dribble that nigga's in the fairy tale. Now, some of them other ones, they may have some of this in that. There's a fine line between fairy tale and folk tale. But the Grimms, that's what made them niggas so dope, because they like blended the two. Man, I mean, when I first, like I said, when I watched this shit, dude, so I just give you a quick rundown of that too. Fuck it, we 20 minutes in, right? You done stood around this long. So, even with the dude, and that's really, you know what, no, let me cap off what I had to say about the white girls, and I throw in a little something about dude. Because that's pretty much all I had to say about the white girl. And I could take it to a million other places and whatever else. But again, if you have this book, if you don't, go get this goddamn book. And that's pretty much, again, like I said, that was her central fucking argument, her central thesis to all of this shit. As I read, you know what I'm saying? I'll read it again, because I know now that I kept my arm on it. But Alienation and shit. My central thesis here is that white-skinned peoples came into existence thousands of years ago as the albino mutant offsprings of black-skinned mothers and fathers in Africa. So, in Maya and the Three, again, some of them, I couldn't say, ain't none of them got like computers and shit. You know what I mean? But these niggas are the real tribal niggas. Like, seriously, tribal off in the jungle living ass niggas. They ain't built temples and castles and shit or whatever else you want to call it like everybody else. Hell, the niggas, the wizards come from like the sky. They got a whole land of this and that and whatever. These niggas got wands and whatever else. This nigga has a staff. Again, that nigga deserves a whole other video. There's gonna be a part 2 to this. Fuck it. This must have to just be part 1. And I'm gonna do part 2 a little later, because, nigga, I ain't got it in me to do it right now. I talked enough, nigga. It took a little minute. I did video after video trying to just do this fucking video, and I restart and do it again. That's what's also hard, man. Anyways. I'm just saying, man. I will holler at you niggas here in a minute. I done drunk enough. We done talked enough. But it's dope as fuck that's how she throws in. That's exactly what the fuck happens. I mean, it's straight up. That's what happens in Maya and the Three. Exactly what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing described in her book. And girl is alienated. She did eventually learn how to speak English, but I mean, the animals raised her. I can't say she lived in a cave, but she lived up under a tree, or she lived with a tree, but she knows how to talk to like all the animals and this and that and whatever. She lived with animals and that kind of shit. And that's why I say it's so goddamn deep, because of course they end up putting this nigga who's kind of lame and weak. Like I said, oh man, that's why the hard facts. Let me run this in to you real quick. Like I said, we capped it off. You'll see what's up with that shit. And we'll come back to it. Let me run this in to you real quick, right? So, the men, the heroes, but the men in fairy tales, alright? Fairy tale heroes receive gifts and assistance once they actively prove their compassion and humility. Heroines, the females by contrast, become the beneficiaries of helpers and rescuers only after they have been abased and forced to learn humility. See what I'm saying? Mind control, fucking 101, but they got these niggas, even from the fact that you think you have to struggle or go through all of this shit, or you have to earn it, like that logical way of thinking is dead as fuck. You got to go to school, and this nigga, they got degrees online, nigga. You get certified in any goddamn thing damn near, but you can do this shit online. You ain't got to go to a school and go in the dorm and live on campus and whatever else. That shit is dead. You know what I'm saying? It does work. I'm not saying you can't do it and it ain't good, but the shit is dead. You don't have to. Anyways, point being, it's the same shit. As long as they got your mind locked into thinking you got to go through a fairy tale, you got to work hard for it. You got to do this, you got to do that. Man, like I said, nigga, when I found out how easy it was to go out there, motherfuckers was, I had a good idea. Didn't walk in there with an actual business plan, anything on wax, nigga. I just had an idea and started talking shit. And niggas was like, and the nigga was like, what? I can give you 15,000. I can get you over here for 50,000. I can get you over here for 250K. Nigga, what? It was just that easy to make $1 million. Look at fucking TikTok. Look at fucking YouTube. It's that goddamn easy to come up nowadays, man. It's damn near depressing to fight for it. We're gonna talk about that. But point being, that's the point. They got a lot of niggas living these goddamn fairy tales. Living in a motherfucking fairy tale. This is a fucking fairy tale. Because the Grimms had you watching fairy tales all your fucking life. Which is why I pulled up The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And again, I'm not trying to be sexist, so to speak, because there is the Black Man's Guide, the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And I just don't have that fucking book. But again, I need to get it. I believe that's a green one. This is yellow, that's green. Seen it, touched it, just don't own it enough to where I can quote from it and show you some shit. But anyways, that's the point. Like I just read, man, we've been watching movies and shit all our lives, our generations. I'm in my late 30s, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and playing video games, I was telling niggas, a video game is a movie that you have to play through. It's a book that you have to play through to see the end. But there's still a storyline and a plot, and you go through all these twists and turns and emotions and shit with the characters. You see what I'm saying? This is why you can pick and identify whatever else, so that you identify with the character. The one that you like. The one that models your playing style, your ability, your particular skill set. You see what I mean? Man, it gets deep as fuck. Again, the mind of a polymath, someone who knows a lot of shit about a lot of shit. I've studied a lot of subjects in a lot of different fields of life. It's fucking crazy how the mind just explodes with all of this shit. Like I said, you just end up going to this book and that book and this book and that book. I ain't planning on doing none of this shit. I ain't got none of this shit wrote down. But I had to share that shit with you. So again, man, Maya and the Three, watch that shit. Comment, holla at me. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to keep going into detail about it, but it gets deep as fuck. Like I said, we'll call this a part 1. I'm going to come back and do a part 2. I'm going to go watch that shit again. So part 2 is probably going to be way doper. Probably a little longer. Because I'm going to put that shit on. At least try to catch an episode or 2. You know what I'm saying? So at least I know niggas' names. And I can fill you in a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to walk every fucking step for you. You know what I'm talking about? You got to do the shit yourself. I try to create motherfuckers that go to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? I'm a legend myself. I love to create legends. But you get my point. I'm not trying to do it all for you. Go watch that shit. Comment. Tell me what you think about the shit. I'm going to go watch a little bit myself. You know what I'm talking about? And when I come back with a part 2, it could be today. It could be tomorrow. Who knows, nigga? I do shit when I do shit. When I come back with a part 2, we'll talk about it a little bit more, man. But, yeah, especially if you got this book, holla at me. OZ the Wizard. Like, share, subscribe, but don't do none of that shit. Keep running and hiding from you, boy. I really don't give a fuck what you do. It don't bother me none whatsoever, man. I'm out.